Hello, friends. This is the Cryptonian. It is Friday, North American East Coast time, and we are taking a look at Bitcoin, BTC. Bitcoin is currently at 38,900, and we're taking a look at Bitcoin because, well, the market pretty much is following Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin is tightly correlated, like a tech stock, to the traditional market, the stock market. So right now at this time, we see that when analyzing Bitcoin, we pretty much get an idea of what's going on across the board in crypto. And so that's why we're going to take a look at Bitcoin on the daily. And but before we get into what's going on locally, I want to show you a larger picture. Okay, this is another reason why I'm on the daily. And currently, right now, Bitcoin is in this massive structure that is an accumulation zone, or what I would call a slightly ascending channel. The upper resistance of this channel is the white line up here, and the lower resistance line, or excuse me, lower support line is down here. Okay, the white line down here. So you can see that since the first all-time high, we then have been bouncing between these 2 points, made a slightly higher high of the last push to the upside, and then we have just been chopping around in this area. So there's a very interesting structure at play here. But first, before I get into that, I want to show you that this Wyckoff accumulation zone last summer shows us a lot. You can see here where there's a period of high volatility, and then after that, it was followed by a period of low volatility. Okay, very low volatility where the market pretty much was looking the other way. They were disinterested. Buyers left the market. Sellers left the market. And there was just very little interest in Bitcoin at that time. And that pretty much set the tone, the pace for the entire crypto market. After that, we had a huge $12,000 move in a process of about a week. That was called the spring. And we moved very quickly from there to the upside, had a brief break in the middle, and then we hit 69,000, which was a new high, new record for Bitcoin. Now, keeping this in mind, keeping in mind the greater massive structure of this consolidation ascending channel, and keeping that in mind, we will move to this more local price action that I will be showing you here. This local price action is also another ascending channel. This is since the beginning of the year, since January. This is the upper resistance line I'm showing you with the yellow line, or excuse me, this blue line. I'm highlighting it with yellow, but this blue line is the upper resistance line. And the lower support of this channel since last year is this blue line here that I'm highlighting with yellow. Now, that being said, since the beginning of the year, we've just been bouncing back and forth in between these 2 points, between the upper resistance and lower support in this channel. Now we're getting into some really good price action, really good, interesting areas. And this is right here. See this? This is a very, very low period of volatility. You can see that on the RSI. This period of low volatility reminds me of last summer before we had that huge, massive push to the upside. Okay? So there's going to be two scenarios. I'm going to share with you the bearish scenario, and I'm going to share with you the bullish scenario. Let me move this up and over a little bit so we can see a little bit better. All right. So I'll go over the bullish scenario for you. We did over the past few past few days here, we did test 38,000 and we did hold 38,000. We pushed up, but then we were rejected by this white line, and now we're on our way back down. Now the white line is the support area of this entire channel, but it's based on the candle bodies, right? Now that held, except for a couple of times in the past. It held, it failed here, which this was a wick down, and it failed here, which is a wick down. So we have lost the support of this white line here, and I've talked about this in previous videos. And this white line is critical, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Let me remove this real quick. My brush doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. So this is a critical area. Where we are now is a very, very critical area. It's probably the most important area in time that we've been in since the beginning of the year, and I'll explain why. Number one, we really need to hold the lower boundary of this channel, which is 38,000. We need to hold 38,000. All right, we lost the white line of support, and now we're testing this blue line, which is support created by the previous two wicks right here. So this is the last line in the sand, and we need to hold this line, which is about 38,000. If we lose 38,000, then we could be seeing much lower lows. Okay, the first area of the lower low would be 35,800. But let's talk about the bullish scenario first. The bullish scenario is we come down and we find support at 38,300, 38,000, and then next week we push up and we regain this white line. We've been trying to regain the white line. We tried to regain it yesterday, and we could not regain it yesterday. And so now we're being rejected, and we're coming back down, and most likely we'll find support at 38,000 once again. Now, between now and Monday, now and next week, most likely we'll just chop around in this area, maybe for the weekend or a few days, or maybe this weekend on low volume we'll regain the white line again. I'm not really sure. But between now and Monday, it's very important to see what will happen. If we hold 38,000, then we have the opportunity to regain this line at 40. We would then need to regain 40, and then we could push up towards actually 50, 51. Okay, that would be the upper resistance of the channel. So just like we've done in the past, right? We found support, and then we went up and we hit the upper blue line, which is resistance, and then we came down after that. So we only have a small amount of time before the summer. Usually May is when the stock market sells off, right? Remember the sell in May and go away mantra? That's the mantra of the stock market, and that could very well be the same for crypto as well. So we're entering May very soon. We're almost at May, and this rally here from here to here took about 2 weeks. Okay, so it would take probably about 2 to 3 weeks if we're going to bounce here and hold 38,000, and if we're going to go back up and test the upper 50, 51, 52 area. If we're going to have a rally, it's going to have to happen shortly, which I mean, it'll probably have to happen, starting sometime next week. We would have to see some type of support develop next week, and then either late next week, midweek, or late next week, or even the following week, we would then have to start pushing up with strength if we're gonna hit this 50-51 area. Now that's the bullish scenario. If we hold 38,000, then we could have a chance to retest 50-51,000 in May. That's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is that we cannot regain the white line support, and we cannot hold 38,000 and 38,000 breaks. If that's the case, then we're going to go right down to 35,000. 35,800 specifically would be the first line of support. And if that doesn't hold, then after that, we're looking at 34,500. And then if that doesn't hold, we're looking at 33,000. Those are the levels of support. Okay. Those are critical levels of support. And if we break all of those, well, first of all, if we break the blue line, then most likely we're definitely going to see a test of 35,800, which is this white line. Remember the huge macro channel that we're in, between the two white lines that I showed you earlier? This is the support line of that. If this breaks, it's going to be very, very bad for Bitcoin and the market, because that would actually change the macro structure into a possibly bearish scenario. And the macro structure has been in play for a few years. So it's very critical that we hold 35,800. Okay, so if we lose 35,800, then we could very well be testing these lower levels of 28, 30,000, right? Now, where does the 28 to 30,000 come from? It comes from back here, the Wyckoff accumulation zone of last summer. Okay, that would be the area of support. Right here is 28, 29,000. It was actually 28.8 thousand where we bounced, and that could possibly, if we lose this area of support here, where we are now, we could then retest 36,000, and if that fails, then we could come down to the bottom of the wedge, which is 33,000, and then if that fails, 29, 30,000, which is synonymous, equal to where we were at before. Now, that would still preserve, very, very barely preserve, the macro bullish uptrend, right? But if we break 28,000, if we break this line, which is 29,000, 29,600, 28,800, if we break that line, then it's going to be very, very bad news, and you expect probably 20,000, something like that. So that's where we are now. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to give doom and gloom, but at the same time, I don't want to give hopium either. I want everyone to understand and recognize that we are in a very critical area right now, which is this area right here. We're in a very critical area, and the line in the sand, we've already lost this white line of support. Okay, and 39,000 is where we've seen most volume transacted since the beginning of the year, and we're under that right now, and it's Friday, and Fridays really are not strong days for a rally. So losing this 39,000 is very, very important. Okay, because what happens if we lose this structure here, then everyone that purchased, or not everyone, but possibly many buyers that purchased here at 39,000, it's very possible that if we lose this $38,000 level here, and we break out of this upward channel, then we could actually see a lot of selling from many of those individuals that purchased in this $39,000 area, right? So right now we are in a critical area, critical time. Bitcoin is testing all of the crypto holders to the very last minute, very last level here. And so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. $38,000 is really what we need to hold. If we lose $38,000, then most likely we're going to come down to 35,800. And then if we lose 35,800, then a lot of downside pressure would take place, because most of the individuals that purchased in this consolidation channel where we are now, a lot of them will probably sell when we break it, and that would bring us probably pretty quickly down to 35,000, and quite possibly even lower to the bottom of this channel, which is 33,000. And then of course if we lose that, then 29,000 to 30,000 is on the table. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the two scenarios. The bullish scenario, holding 38,000, and the next week starting a rally, sometime next week starting a rally to hopefully end at 51,000. That's the bullish scenario. Or the bearish scenario, losing the $38,000 level, and then we come down to the lower levels, testing 36, 35, 36. This channel, huge macro channel, and then if we lose that, then possibly down to 30, 30, 32, 33, or even 30. Okay, so that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching. Please click like. I just wanted to put this on the table, let you know what I'm seeing in the charts, and let you know a few critical levels. Now remember, this is not investment advice. I cannot give you investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you what I see in the markets. I'm showing you what I believe is very important. The low level of volatility, the very low level of activity and strength in the market is showing that there's a big move around the corner. A very, very big move around the corner. That big move could be to the upside, okay, ending at 50, 51 target, or it could be a very strong break to the downside, possibly ending at in the low 30s, mid to low 30s. Okay, so we'll be watching these levels, and of course, if we start finding support here and start breaking to the upside, I'm going to be in that. I'm going to be buying that for a target of 50, 51, and but also if we start breaking down, I'm not going to touch it. I wouldn't even touch it with your money if we start breaking down, okay? Because it's going to get nasty. So just so you're aware, be careful in the market. We do see most likely a very big move coming in the next probably week or so. Probably by next week we'll start to see the beginning or manifestation of that big move coming. Thank you, friends. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.